Okay, guys. So this is Ray Chen. So I'm gonna talk about another episode of mobile home park due diligence. Cause I'm actually in the San Francisco airport right now, and I got a message. A guy named Sean, he left a message on one of my other video where I talked about the mobile home due diligence. So he said he's in the process of purchasing the park right now. So I'll share with you guys my experience of purchasing the park about the due diligence. So I'm using timing as acronym to talk about the mobile home park due diligence. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and click like the video if you find it useful. Subscribe to the channel, okay? So we're gonna talk about the phase one, environmental. So whenever you buy a park, you have to get environmental inspection because if it doesn't pass the inspection, if it has contamination, it's gonna be disaster. So now I'll give you an example. I tried to buy a park in Yuma, Arizona before, and the park is really cheap. It's about 50 units. I was buying it. I entered contract to purchase it for 900, I think around 900,000. It's really cheap because there's other parks. I saw that there's another park. It's only like around 30 units. It was sold for $2 million. So this was a really good deal. But then when I did an environmental inspection, it didn't pass phase one because the well water is contaminated. There's contamination. So I canceled the purchase. So the environmental inspection, it usually takes at least, sometimes if you order it fast, maybe you can get it done, maybe you can get a report in 1 week, but a lot of times it takes at least 2 to 3 weeks. So it's kind of, because in the beginning, when I was purchasing a mobile home park, I tried to do all the other stuff first. So then once I make sure I want to buy it, then I'm going to do the environmental inspection. But the problem is the environmental inspection, takes time. So if you do not get the environmental inspection report quick in the beginning, then most likely you would have to extend the contingency period. Depending on how long your contingency period is. So you got to work out the timing. If you don't do it right away, you might need to extend your contingency period. So that's the as far as timings goes. So basically, what you want to get is make sure the environmental inspection pass phase one. If it doesn't pass phase one inspection, then you just cancel it, because for example, the park I was trying to buy in Yuma, Arizona, the water is contaminated. When I was in the process of purchasing, a tenant actually called me because when I was walking the park, I gave my number to some of the tenants. The tenant actually told me 2 residents died there. I don't know if it's due to the poison of the water or what. I'm not sure. So that, as you can see, that's a huge risk. If the tenants, they can actually get attorney to sue the landlord. So that's just a big mess. So luckily I didn't buy it. I canceled it. But the problem is for that one, I didn't get my deposit back because because they were playing trick. The seller, they didn't. There was a septic tank report. I think they did not give me because the septic tank needs some repair. They did not give me the estimate until the last day of the contingency removal date. So I wasn't able to cancel before the contingency removal date. Technically, I'm still entitled to the deposit because they did not give me the report. Because let's say if they gave me the report, if I cancel after the contingency period, then that's my fault. I'm not entitled to get my deposit back. But because they did not give me the report, until the last day, so I'm supposedly, should be able to get my deposit back. But they did not return my deposit. It was $5,000. So I might go back and talk to the attorney. So the environmental report need at least 1 to 2 weeks. So most likely you're gonna need at least 2 weeks. So you need to factor that in with your contingency removal period. And the cost, I did a couple. So usually I think the cost is about anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000, depending on how big your park is. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, about environmental inspection and the phase one. Number two is about income. You want to make sure that, let's say, whatever occupancy they tell you, you should go drive through the park and you need to count like how many. Let's say if there's 100 units, let's say if they tell you 80% occupied, then you need to drive through the park. You want to see that there are indeed 80 of the homes are occupied. And depending on how you do it, sometimes you might ideally you would want to go check every home, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But anyway, you want to verify the occupancy. Also, you want to verify the income. The best thing to do is you want them to send you the tax return, and you want them to send you the rent roll. But sometimes, a lot of times these mobile home parks, they're owned by mom and pops. So maybe they just have something in handwriting. Like I was trying to buy this park before in sorry, I'm in the airport, so it's kind of noisy. So this one time I was trying to buy a park in Houston. The owner, he wrote the income on a piece of yellow notebook. There's not even so I asked him to send me the bank statement, but he wouldn't send it to me. So I canceled it. But I didn't cancel for that reason, but I still canceled it. Yeah. So you need to verify the occupancy. Number three, you want to make sure that the park have permits. For example, when I was buying the park in Yuma, Arizona, I went to their online, the city, to check the permits, and online it says it's 50 units. You want to make sure. But every city, every county, every state is different. For the mobile home park I bought in Florida, you gotta check the permits with the health department. So I went to the health department, so they show me how many units they are permitted to operate the mobile home parks. So you want to make sure that number one, it is legally zoned as a mobile home park. Number two, you want to double check the number of units that they're permitted to operate. The number match, what the owner told you, and versus what the city or county or state permits you to operate the number of units of mobile homes. Okay, next one, insurance. If you're getting a loan, you want to make sure you get your insurance in time, because sometimes the insurance may take quite a bit. Like this mobile home park I just bought in Florida, it took them like 2 weeks to get insurance. First, they couldn't find the aerial picture of the park. It took them a while. And then, after I paid them, it took them a long time to issue the binder. So the lender was waiting, because the lender, they want to make sure that you get the insurance before they're gonna fund the money. So you want to make sure that time-wise you want to do it just in time, so that you have enough time to have the insurance active to show to the lender. So it takes I would say at least minimum 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks. The insurance, depending on how big your park is maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, depending on how big your park is. Okay, the next thing you need to check is the septic tank. You want to make sure to check the septic tanks, because a lot of times the parks, they have a lot of septic tanks. Like the one I bought in Florida, it has more than 20 septic tanks. So what you check is you need to check if they full, and also you need to. So basically, how they do it is they check out the tank. They see, because sometimes the people that's already maintaining the tank, they know which one is good, which one is bad. So if they already, maybe they'll dig out the top of the grass. They check the top of the septic tank, and also the drain field. If it looks good, if it doesn't look full, maybe they don't need to pump it. So if that's the case, it's probably only maybe $50 or $75, depending on where you are. If they need to pump it, it's probably anywhere from $200 to $300 to pump each tank. let's say if they're not sure if the tank is good or not, they might need to pump it to find out if the tank is good. So the most important thing about the septic tank is that the drain field, because if the drain field is not working correctly, then water cannot go down to the ground. Then your tank will be full all the time. So that's not gonna work. So yeah, so that's about septic tank. And the next thing you want to check out is the well. So you want to make sure the well is working properly. You want to make sure that there's no contamination. Like the park I was trying to buy in Yuma, it has contamination. It has a whole bunch of violation from the government, from different departments. A whole bunch of violations, contaminations. You want to make sure there's no contamination, and you want to make sure the well is not a dry well, because if the well does not produce water, if you have to dig a new well, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you at least around maybe $10,000 or $20,000, depending on where you are. Okay, so that's it about another episode about how to do mobile home park due diligence. Okay, this is Ray Chen. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel. If you like the videos, click like the video, and let's talk more about mobile home park investment next time. This is Ray Chen. Thank you.